in the afternoon, we, I got to compliment Temple. They beat us again in a very same type of fashion. I thought, they went with a different lineup, and it created the same type of problems we had before, and that's matchup problems, especially guarding people off the dribble. But again, I thought Diedrich played great. He carried us. He just needed a little more help in shooting. We shot the ball very poorly, and we really didn't defend the three like we were supposed to. So those areas we have to get better at. And but we know that we've got. We really didn't get the toughness that we needed. But I'm really proud of how guys recovered. And we were down 19. They battled back. We got back in the game. We cut it to 4. We cut it to 3. We just couldn't. We just couldn't sustain it. Any questions?
You guys started the game shooting 9 of 15. You're shooting 60% midway through the first half. You go to the bench, and it just seemed like the offense for a while there just couldn't find itself. What happened during that? It was a 28-2 run. It ended up being.
Well, we turned it over, I think, about 3 out of 5 times, and then when we went back in, we took some bad shots. That turnovers and bad shots. I mean, a bad shot is a turnover too. So I think that was the whole issue. And they gained a lot of momentum. I think it went for 25-2 run. I don't think I've ever been a part of that, but it was. And we had some chippies. I mean, we were right at the basket a couple of times. They just didn't go in. And now you start to get frustrated. You get a little tight, and shots just don't go in, and they didn't go in during that stretch.
Coach, this is the first time I've seen multiple players on your team complain about fouls, early in the first half. Do you think that contributed to them not scoring late in the game?
I don't know. It's one thing we talk about, just play the game and play as hard as you can. I'm disappointed to hear that, because, you're watching the game. And I saw Markel or somebody talking to the official, and, you got to concentrate and play the game. I thought they did they need to concentrate on defending somebody one-on-one instead of complaining about fouls, if that was the case. But I really witnessed that. I thought that there were some times that maybe there was contact, but nothing that you got to play through that.
To piggyback off about the fouls, I think Markel was there. He mentioned going to the goal, getting his arm yanked on, and it's looking like a high school football game up under the goal sometime. Playing through the contact with these obvious fouls, is it that seemed to be what happened later at the end? Well,
we just have to get more physical. Guys, as I told them before, you got to get in the weight room. You got to get stronger. And that's the only thing I can tell you, because we had our chances to finish at the basket in the first half, and even through contact. And that's what you have to learn to do. And we do it. I take that back. We really haven't. One of the things we've been working on a lot was guarding guys off the dribble, guarding the three. But I guess we need to work on, and we work on. Playing through contact, hitting guys with shields when they when they go up. So I don't know, just wasn't our day. And then when you're not, when you're getting beat off the dribble like we did, it's just hard to. I looked at him. Dingle was just creating opportunities for other people, driving the ball to the basket, pitching it out, and we just didn't have an answer. We just didn't have the. They're a physical team. They're bigger than us, taller than us at every position. And so, we worried about that, and that was our biggest concern, is when we guard a team like that, you've got to be, number one, you got to be on top of your game. You can't waste possessions. You can't get distracted by complaining. And we're just not that good that we can do that. I don't know anybody that good. So that's a real concern, especially when I hear that or see that.
Coach, you mentioned that they shot really well from three, and that's something that they've done all year long. Was it more about what they were doing, or did you see defensive breakdowns that led to those successes?
Defensive breakdowns. We had worked on really switching and really getting up in guys' faces and making them put it on the floor. And I thought we did a poor job. And then when you contest, you got to be close enough to not just contest the shot, but also box out. And I thought we were just too far away from them. And then when they did shot fake, they went by us off the dribble. We just had a real breakdown defensively in that regard.
Coach, you have one game in the next 11 days or so. Given the depth of your squad, how important is that stretch?
Oh, it's critical. I think we've, but you know, we had rest this week. We had a day off, 2 days. We had a time to recoup. We had, what, 4 days, 3-4 days to get ready for this. And we were ready. You know, I thought we got off to a good start. We were focused. Again, so it's going to be important. It'll be critical that we can hopefully mentally regroup and recover. But I like our guys. I like how hard they've been playing. Just you expect. We had good production the last time out from the bench, and you expect. But we just don't have the inside material inside players that can really bang with their guys. They come off the bench with 6'10", 6'8". It's just a big difference. 6'9", and we're coming off the bench with 6'3". 6 feet and 6'1". It's a big difference, and so it wears down, Diedrich, KJ, and Jamario.
You mentioned the bench against Tulsa. Those three guys, when they came in the game, gave you a really big lift. And today, obviously, their run really seemed to start once you took some of the starters out. How do you handle that going forward? Do you feel like you've been putting all three of them in at once here the past couple games? How do you handle that going forward to avoid something like this?
I don't know. We just, I think I got to keep encouraging them, tell them they play well in practice. They've been playing extremely well in practice. So I was very, but again, it was a big difference in the backcourt size, and it showed tonight. And that was the difference in their athleticism, their length bothered us, the turnovers. Obviously doing that stretch was critical.
Coach, you use a small lineup to really pick up the tempo in the second half. Is this something you want to use going forward in the future to really speed teams up when they want to play a methodical style?
Yeah, you can't get behind by 19 and you can't go 0 for 18 and get outscored. It just takes too much to come back, and that's where I probably made some mistakes and made some calls or whatever we did. We have to look at it and see. But again, I just remember about 3 point blank shots that we had at the basket, and we just didn't get them to fall, because those types of things will break the slide or the drought. But you're right. The quickness, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go with quickness when we put in Keon and Christian. They gave us that lift the other night. But different team, different day, and different outcome.
Coach, with only 5 games left to go in the regular season, you guys right there in the middle trying to get one of those first-round buys in Connecticut. Do you do a lot of looking at the scoreboard, looking at the standings to see where you guys are and what's going on around the conference?
Well, I've never been a guy to watch the score. We've been too busy trying to teach and coach and get better. So, and that may have been something that affects our guys. I don't know. It's when you're in the heat of the battle and you're in a conference race, how are we going to respond? As far as emotionally, toughness, and just I guess, what can I say? Making those plays during the stretch. You got to be able to be not just a clutch player, but you got to be able to sustain things, concentration. I thought today we had that period where our concentration, and you mentioned the things that were happening with guys, complaining about fouls. That will break your concentration, your focus quicker than anything. But no, I see now we're 8-5 and 18-8, and drops us probably to what, 4th, I think, in the league. So yeah, it's important that we just need to improve. So we had some real breakdowns defensively today, and it was very. It wasn't like us because we played extremely well defensively in the second half against Tulsa. And so I don't know. Again, I go back. This is a different team, and this team is Temple's a very talented team. And when they went with their big lineup, it was really we were making shots early on, and then we got beat on the boards and second chance points, although actually we beat them on second chance points, but I know that there were some opportunities that we didn't capitalize on. Any questions? All right. Thank you.